Please welcome District Attorney Steve Mulroy.
I'd like to let it go on all day, but we got to get going. Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Do we have any anti-monarchists in the house right now? Shout out if you're against monarchy here. I am so glad to see so many people, and so many more people than last time. Isn't this fantastic? I'm also glad to see so many of you here for a very selfish reason, because there's safety in numbers. I mean, how many politically motivated manufactured federal indictments can there really do, right? And if the Marines decide to do some sort of artillery barrage, some celebratory thing over Poplar, I'm thinking the odds are pretty good it won't hit me. So the theme today is no kings. And there's a reason why that is the perfect theme, because if there's one thing that people of good faith all across this country can agree on, it's that whenever one man has the unchecked power to make, interpret, and enforce the law, we lose our republic. And if any one man even starts to try to get that kind of power, we've all got to stop what we're doing, pull out all the stops, and stop him in his tracks. Because in this country, we don't kneel for kings, we stand for the Constitution. Now, is it really the case that Trump is trying to be a king? All right, maybe you've decided already. As a prosecutor, let me lay out the evidence. When I taught constitutional law, I would teach my students that these are the checks on executive power: Congress, the courts, the states, and the Constitution itself. Let me review each of those for the jury, okay? Congress. He has unilaterally, without even consulting Congress, effectively declared war on Venezuela, abolished entire federal agencies like USAID that was created by Congress, and fired thousands of federal law workers in direct violation of laws passed by Congress. The courts. His Justice Department has actually violated express federal court orders on topics ranging from hauling people off to foreign torture prisons without due process, sending military troops to police U.S. citizens, and having ICE agents physically assault reporters and peaceful protesters on the streets of Chicago. The states. He has taken military troops from red states and put them into blue states over the objection of those governors. He has illegally withheld federal funds, including desperately needed disaster funds, from blue states because he didn't like the leaders or their policies on unrelated things like voter ID. And he has threatened to withhold millions of more dollars from blue states unless they toe the Trump line on issues like immigration, climate change, and bail reform. And finally, the Constitution. He has arrogated to himself the unilateral power to amend the Constitution by purporting to abolish birthright citizenship in direct violation of the plain language of the 14th Amendment and over 100 years of Supreme Court case law. Not to mention the fact that just in the last 9 months alone, he has arrested, detained, deported, prosecuted, debarred, decertified, and delicensed people and firms because of their constitutionally protected expression of free speech rights under the First Amendment. Now, other than that, things are pretty great. So, let me summarize. Congress, ignored. The courts, defied. The states, bullied. The Constitution rewritten. I submit it to you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. What say ye on the charge of trying to be a king, guilty or not guilty? Guilty! I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What's the verdict? Guilty! Your verdict must be unanimous. One more time? Guilty! All right, thank you. I'm now going to have the clerk poll you, each and every one of you individually. No. Maybe we don't have time for that. If we are going to try to do something about this creeping authoritarianism, galloping authoritarianism, the only answer is collective action. That means a united coalition. Progressives, liberals, centrists, moderates, non-MAGA Republicans, independents, all coming together, putting aside their policy differences and focusing on the fight against tyranny. And that means, I'm going to say this to both my DSA friends and my Republican friends. You're going to have to support some Democrats. You're going to have to do that, right? DSA, Republicans, you're going to have to get behind some Democrats. Now listen, this is what we're trying to do. A united front against the witch hunt. For democracy, not autocracy. For the Constitution, not persecution. Now, I know that collective action is hard. It requires concentration, it requires organization, it requires cooperation. But we already know that mass protests and a united electorate can bring down autocrats. Just ask Berlusconi in Italy, or Fujimori in Peru, or just ask Bolsonaro in Brazil. Actually, no, you can't ask Bolsonaro. He's in jail. Now, I know there are some who say that authoritarian government has already come here in the United States. Trump's already won. He's co-opted Congress. He's jammed through the judges. He's engineering the elections. We're too divided. But I already know from last month that we can do things together in collective action and have an impact. Just ask Jimmy Kimmel. Or just look around at you guys today. For every Paul Weiss law firm that knuckled under to the illegal government coercion and fired people who sued Trump and canceled DEI and gave millions in basically protection money in the form of promises to do free legal representation to Trump, for every Paul Weiss law firm, there was a Jenner and Block who successfully sued. For every Columbia University who caved, there was a Brown and an MIT who didn't cave. And for every Paramount or CBS that fired a star and settled ridiculous lawsuits because they were afraid of regulatory action, there was a brave and courageous media mega corporation. All right, I don't have one for that one. That was going too far. But before I sit down, on that note, I want to tell you one quick story, and it's about Pete Hegseth. You know this guy? Oh, so you've heard of him. Oh, okay. The no-beardo Secretary of Defense, head of the imaginary Department of War, issued a decree recently that all the media agencies covering the Pentagon had to sign a legally binding oath that they wouldn't use any information other than the officially proved information from the Pentagon, upon pain of losing their Pentagon access, their press passes, so they couldn't get into the Pentagon building. 3 days ago, every single major media corporation said no and turned in their press passes. Including Fox and Newsmax. Now, folks, when Fox News has joined the resistance, we know we got something cooking. All right, so what do? Wrapping it up. We galvanize. We publicize, we organize. Every one of you, sign up, donate, volunteer, repost for Indivisible, Indivisible Memphis, the ACLU, MoveOn.org, Vencenarios 901, and every other organization that is ready to stand up to tyranny. If any of you is not a member in good standing of at least one of those organizations, then change that by the end of the day. Also, every one of you, I want every one of you to pledge today that you're going to find 5 people who don't normally vote or don't normally vote blue and get them to promise to vote blue in next November's elections. I want a show of hands. How many people are willing to make that pledge right now? I am really glad. And then finally, I want you to remember 2 words. And these are 2 words that I want all of you to say to Donald Trump. No, not those 2 words. This is a family-friendly event. These are the 2 words I want you to say right now with me. I want you to say them so loud that even he can hear them in his Golden Arches Palace in D.C. Say it with me. No kings!
No